Yo, what's up? This is Guillo. I will explain how to perform the Trauare Skip, both versions, the fastest one and the slower one. Before we start, this tutorial will be both on Spanish and English, but I will make sure that both are the same. I will be using same clips, also the same script, so no version will be better than the other. Before I start explaining this, first, let's watch how it looks like. This first one is the slower setup. Okay, that's the slow setup. Now I will show the faster one. So let's see. Okay, as you can see, both are the same. The only difference is on the start. Let's first explain how this works. What you need to make sure is that Freudia is not centered on screen. Freudia needs to be on the right side. When she's on the right side and the screen is trying to catch you, you can move before the screen on this part and get inside this ceiling to perform a zip and avoid like a 10-second part. But how do we achieve this? Okay, what you need to do is all on this screen. First, we need to go on this low platform and perform a full jump. It's really important that it is a full jump. If it's not a full jump, it won't work. After that, also something important, keep holding jump. Why? I don't know. But if you keep holding it, the escape is more consistent and is also easier. So keep holding jump and hug this right wall. But before this ends, you need to release the right. So because you want Freudia to be on this exact spot. On this part, after the water puts you to the left, is when I like to stop holding the jump button. But it's also after it puts you when you need to start holding right. And now, after doing that, Freudia is not centered on screen, and that's the first part of this skip. After that, the most important part after you get the setup is to get hit either by this fish or this star. And that's because we want to avoid getting hit by these 4 spikes. They are not insta-kill, but the reason why we need to avoid them is because we want to start swimming as sooner as possible. Because if you don't, the screen will catch you and the setup is gone. We need to be outside the screen. If you are outside the screen, it works. And now for the last part, as you can see here, I make a quick tap to the left, and that's because now we are on the ceiling. we are right up here. When you perform a save on this game, you need to look to the left to be pushed to the right. And because this is a save, we want to push left. If you don't, it's no problem. You won't be going push to the other side. You will just stuck in place and you can push left later. But the sooner you press it, the better. Now, there's a huge problem on this escape, and that is that you can actually soft lock, but it's really easy to avoid it. So let's see. What you need to make sure is that before your first swim, after this part, the screen has to move. Here I wait like 3 or 4 frames before my first swim. And that's because for some reason, if you swim before the screen moves, it's a guaranteed soft lock. You can't avoid it if you do it wrong. And instead of one full screen, it will change to shorter versions without water. So just make sure that the screen moves before you swim, and that's it. That's all you need to do to avoid this soft lock. So let's watch it again from the start. Lower platform, perform a full jump, and keep holding jump. Release jump and also push to the right after this part. Wait until the screen moves and start swimming. Get hit by this fish or this start. I prefer the fish, like I said. And just press to the left to perform the zip. Now for the faster setup. Instead of jumping on this lower platform, we will do it on this top one. We will also do a full jump. This is a full jump. We also want to keep pressing the jump button. And now we want to go to the left side. Right around this part is where you need to go. Make sure that you are not holding left when the water appears, because if you keep holding, you will be pushed to the wall and you won't be able to do the skip. After that, around this part is when we want to press or hold right, and after that is exactly the same as the other. You want to make sure the screen moves before your first swim. We also want to get hit by either this fish or this start, and of course press left to go to the right. Okay, so I have some tips for this one because this is the one I use. I use both a visual cue and a sound cue. As for the visual cue, I go around this part on the wall, a tiny bit left to this thing on the background, and that's when I stop holding left. And for this part, to know when do I start holding right, what I like to use is a sound cue. I use that sound, that splash sound. Right after the splash sound ends is when I start holding right. And that's a way, for me, that make it really consistent. I barely miss this skip. So, well, the explanation of this one is a bit shorter because almost everything was covered on the slower version. So just perform a full jump, keep holding jump and go to the left. Move a tiny bit to the left after that chain. Release jump, and after this splash sound, start holding right. Wait until the screen is moving and start swimming. Get hit by this fish or this star and look left. That's all. Now, the faster version is only about 0.5 faster. I do consider the slower one being easier to learn, but I do think the faster one is more consistent, at least for me. So I will just say stick with the one which is more comfortable for you and also easier. 0.5 won't make any difference, so just use the one you find easier. But that's all. That's all for this tutorial. And so thanks for watching. Any question I can answer in the comments. So good luck practicing and learning this, and see you later.